One with a speech titled Estate Living to the podium. Estate Living, Allan Jevon.
Mr. Toastmaster. Gentlemen, currently in the property market the trend is to live in a security estate. It is intentionally and possibly because of the fact that of the security angle. It's a global phenomenon, and you find that it's happening all over the world. And notwithstanding the fact that if you want to live in an estate, you need to accept that you're going to have to make a lot of sacrifices. And let me give you some examples. Mr. Barker, pottering around in your garage on a lathe and making a noise, not acceptable. Won't work in an estate. Or Mr. Scarborough, an aviary with birds tweeting the whole evening and during the day or whatever. No. And let's not talk about us band people, Ian and myself, having a band practice in the garage on an estate. That's not going to work. Now, the members of an estate come from all walks of life. They are forced into a pot, and there they need to mingle and make things work. Now, and they are different. Some people are quiet and caring and willing to take a back seat, like Mr. Barker. And others say anything and they're aggressive, and they don't even think before they speak, like Adrian, for example. And then you have people there that have a very, very sound knowledge of rules and always abide by them, like Mr. Miller. and currently Mr. Ndemiso. So, for estate living to work, there needs to be rules. And an estate normally consists of a number of properties within a boundary that's gated and fenced. The owners of the properties are regarded as members of an association. Now, the association has rules, and these rules are registered to have legal and binding force and effect. They are registered with the Companies and Intellectual Property Commission. And before you can purchase a property, you need to state that you accept that you are buying into an estate that has rules. And for as long as you're going to be a member, you will abide by the rules. But unfortunately, that's not how it always works, because the rules are sometimes don't suit everyone. So the estate where I'm involved in Zimbabwe, it has a rule that everyone must make use of the landscaping service provider. You don't have a choice. You must make use of them, and it's going to cost you R1,000 a month. Now, unfortunately, this service provider, in our instance, doesn't always give the best quality service. And as a result, there are members that say, hang on, I'm going to appoint my own gardener. And that ends up that he has to pay 2 levies, or he's paying for the same service twice. There are people that say, I brought him in this estate because I don't want to be bothered with having to appoint a landscaper. You guys do that for me, I'm happy. So to make this work, we need to change the rule. There's unhappy people and there's happy people. And the process needs to be followed. So you need to have a meeting, like we did tonight. And the meeting is for the members, and they get together and then they discuss the issue. And that's when all hell breaks loose, because the gloves come off. Everyone feels he's got the right, and his thinking will suit everyone. The aggressive one withdraws. And the quiet one becomes aggressive. Everyone is speaking to each other, and they're trying to talk louder, the one louder than the other. I mean, for example, those who complained about Rob's budgies, you know, they become bird lovers. People, that's what happens. And I chaired a meeting like this, and the only way to make it work is you had to resolve the conflict. Now, there's a couple of steps that you would follow to resolve a conflict. Step one is to identify the cause of the conflict, and in that process, you then understand each party's point of view. They are normally valid, and that was in our case. Step two is to invite the participants to air their views, one at a time. So avoid interruption, even as the chair, and remind others to offer the same when they are speaking, other people are speaking. Step three, listen. Because when you listen, you're going to identify the real cause of the conflict. And you're going to identify areas of agreement and areas of disagreement. And then, as the chair, narrow down the scope and get a focus on a certain area where you can see there's common ground. Invite the people in the meeting to brainstorm and ask each party to consider the other party's feelings and viewpoints. Participants are more likely to accept an outcome if they all played a role in arriving at that outcome. So, when the parties are in agreement, at the end of the process, there are going to be people that aren't happy. But you need to say, listen, I'm encouraging you. Let's focus on and accept the outcome. And let's rather focus on the future. So estate living can be peaceful, harmonious, and frankly neighborly. But on condition, conflict is managed effectively. And that is why there's so much truth in this quotation by Ronald Reagan, when he said, peace is not the absence of conflict, it's the ability to handle conflict peacefully. Mr. Toastmaster.